What's up guys, so today we're going to be installing these Swift springs from my Nissan 350Z. These are going to be going on my coilovers that I have now, stiffen up the suspension and make it where I can have rim to fender fitment. I'm so excited, so let's get straight into this video. Okay, so here's how you do the rear springs. You'll see up there, there's a bolt there, and there's a bolt there. All you gotta do is unbolt those, and then there's one right there at the bottom of the strut. You unbolt that right there, and then just press down on the rotor or the caliper to get it to come loose, and then just pull it out. This is literally one of the most simplest suspensions in the rear. Now the front is pretty complicated, or it can be. It is on my car because something's messed up, I think. But yeah, this is super simple. And then I'll show you what to do once I get this spring out here. And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do and get this spring out. Okay, so basically what you have to do to get this spring on is take this top nut off. I may have explained this already. I'm doing this over a course of a couple days because I'm having to come home back and forth from school and stuff, so I didn't get to this coilover in the back. I've already done these front two, and I've done the other front one, but I'm going to explain how to do the front. I don't know what I've recorded and what I haven't, but basically you take this top nut off right here and the whole thing will come apart. The only problem with doing this is pretty dangerous, so if you do it my way, I would aim it somewhere away from you, put your foot on top of the spring here, and I highly suggest having an impact. If you don't have an impact, then don't do it this way. Get a spring compressor. Don't do what I do it the right way. Get a spring compressor and do this the right way, and here comes my dog. Right there. Yep. So, get a spring compressor and then take this nut off, and there won't be any kind of explosion if there is one. I don't think this is that compressed, so I think I'm fine. So basically just put your foot on it and hit it. Okay, so let me explain what just happened. So the strut on the inside was spinning with the nut, and I had to stop the strut from spinning, and it was barely hanging on. So I took a towel and put it in there because you don't want to scratch up your strut. And then I just took off this nut. There was no explosion whatsoever. It wasn't compressed at all. And so then you take off your top hat and all those components, and the spring will just slide right off. I didn't know that it was gonna, my other three didn't do that, and so that's basically what happened. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this back together in reverse order, and yeah. Alright guys, so this is what I was talking about in my last video, and if you haven't seen that video, I will link that up for you. This is my new suspension. Obviously you can see that these are BC Coilovers, and it already has the springs that I'm showing you me replacing on them, which in the last video I explained all that, and it makes perfect sense. So this is how you would take these out.
So up here is your upper control arm right here, and this bolt right here you want to undo, because otherwise it will be super hard. Now if this bolt, you're trying to undo it and you're unscrewing it and it just keeps on spinning, you need to get a hammer and put in between this bolt and this control arm and put pressure, and then try to unscrew it, and that'll get it. And the next thing you've got to do is right down here. If you see that right there, that is the bolt that will take out the bottom of your suspension on that fork right there. You just get a wrench on both those sides and it will undo from the bottom. And now the top. That is different from the rear, which you guys can see that. There are bolts on the other side of that you would have to take out. Some nuts to unscrew. And also, as you're doing this, make sure you take off your brake lines and such like that. Make sure those are free. And let me give you guys a look underneath the hood and kind of give you a better explanation. Alright, so this is what it looks like on the top. And there's my BC Coilovers right there. So here's a nut and here's a nut that you need to unscrew. These two. And there's one underneath here on this side. Well, the question is, how do you get to that? Well, you've got to unbolt this strut brace here that goes all the way across. You got to unbolt it from both sides, and then that'll free up that nut. That nut's like a 10 millimeter, I think. Super easy to get to. It's just you got to take off that brace bar. Now, last point of advice. If this brace bar has a nut that's feeling like it's impossible to get off, or one of these bolts here, take this and loosen it. It will get tighter or not tighter based off of this. It's like an adjustment on a coilover. Not exactly, but you get what I'm saying. Or maybe like a control arm, like adjustment like that. So adjust it like that. And then with some finagling, stepping on this and whatnot, this coilover will come free and come out. And you'll want to pull it forward and bring it out. And just like that, it will pop out. And then I don't know how well the video is to the rest of it, showing how to replace the springs. And if it's bad when I'm editing it, then I will show you a better way on how to do it. But for now, this is what I have, because I don't even know. It's been a while since I've done this video. But like I said in my last video, that's why I have BC Coilovers. If you're curious and you haven't seen that video, check that video out. And that's why these springs are already in there, is because this is quite some time later that I'm filming this. It's hard to juggle these videos when you're going back and forth from school, but these coilovers are fantastic and I do recommend BC's. But anyways, if this spring video does not come out clear and it's just kind of like me installing them and not really explaining it, I will do another video at some point of me pulling the suspension out and explaining how to replace springs on BC coilovers or on any coilovers, because it's all about the same. But anyways guys, that's what I've got to say, and let's get on with the rest of the video.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted. My heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing, and you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow in immortality. I can see you and me free in immortality. I can see you and me free. You left me crying and running through a
This is the old
ghost
coilover.
town.
Gotta get this back nut off.
Alone and stranded.
Hopefully it doesn't kill my camera. It's facing the camera.
Leave me hoping and guessing
Lots
for
of
the answers.
intelligence right that is it for this install. I think that I will make another video on me adjusting my spring rates later on down the road, but what I'm gonna do is just tighten up that spring, make sure it's right, and other than that, I think that's it for this video. So leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.